Live from the Bay Area's news station, this is the Cron 4 Morning News.
We're going to be talking about sex and science. We're going to be talking about how your genes can affect your life and how you can find out what your genes are. And we're going to be talking about live food. Not the kind you think of. No, this is the kind of food that you are what you eat, and this is how to make yourself healthy, maybe even deal with diabetes and other illnesses.
Oh, okay. Oh, very interesting, very helpful, Henry. Let's take a quick...
All right, well, coming up on the Cron 4 News Weekend, the New Living Expo taking place at the Concourse Exhibition Center in San Francisco. Henry has one of its highlights right here in the studio.
Dr. Gabriel Cousens says you are what you eat, and what you eat can affect your health in ways like diabetes, heart disease, depression. He's got some ideas on how you can either cure or ameliorate many of those conditions by changing your diet. That's coming up on Cron 4 News Weekend. Welcome back to Cron 4 News Weekend. So, indeed, we are what we eat. Almost literally. I mean, your cells are made up of things that you have eaten in the course of your life. How do they affect your health? Well, that has been the source of Dr. Gabriel Cousens' study over a number of years. He's written 7 different books on the subject of linking diet, holistic medicine, and health. His latest book is Cure for Diabetes, which is specifically related to diet. Just for starters, you argue that we should be using live or raw food as the route to improving our health. What do you mean?
Well, definitely, it's not an argument, it's an observation. Okay. And it didn't start with me. I've been doing this for 35 years. And then you begin to see your results. But actually, Max Gerson, back in 1920, actually healed Albert Schweitzer of type 2 diabetes with a live food diet.
What kind of diet are you talking about?
And that means fresh vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds and sprouted grains and sea vegetables, or what we call seaweeds, are very, very nutritious. And when we look around the world, the research around the world, like with the China study, shows something very interesting. The more people have a plant-based diet, the less chronic disease they have.
Let's talk about some of the diseases. Yeah. Your book is really kind of a daring title, A Cure for Diabetes.
It's very
is the
daring.
Latest one.
Yes.
Cure?
Yes.
What do you mean?
What we mean is type 2 diabetes, okay, not type 1.
Yes.
Within 2 weeks to 3 months, we are reversing 90 to 95% of people with type 2. What is reversing? Means off all medications, including insulin, oral hypoglycemics, and normal blood sugars, and normal what we call A1C, which is another test for diabetes. A1C becoming less than 6, which we consider you're healed.
Let me just interrupt. We talked about this ahead of time. Don't try this at home without some supervision from someone who knows what they're doing, a holistic physician, somebody who can supervise this process. Don't just get off your insulin and start eating.
So to be very specific, if you're on insulin and if you're on oral hypoglycemics, you need medical supervision to do this because it works so quickly. When we're saying quickly, we're saying off your insulin, even if you've been on insulin for 20 years, that's what we're talking about. Within 2 to 4 days, we get people off their insulin and oral hypoglycemics as just part of what we're doing.
Okay.
So we got to be careful. If you're not on medication, then that's fine. Okay. Then you can do it on your own.
And you're also saying that this diet would help prevent diabetes for people who, so many people are now becoming diabetic later in life.
We're talking 1 out of 2 Native Americans, 1 out of 2 Latinos, 1 out of 2 African Americans, 1 out of 3 Caucasians are, from the year 2000, are expected to get diabetes. That's not a little bit of people. Right now we have 75 million pre-diabetics and diabetics. And around the world, 246 million people. 1 person dying from diabetes every 10 seconds. Now the UN has said it's a pandemic. And we have a very simple, I'm going to say cure, because it's about diet and it doesn't require medication.
Now, is this peer-reviewed? I mean, has this been studied scientifically, something the FDA would say, yes, that's a cure?
The answer is no. What we have is a pilot study. And what is in this book, there is a cure for diabetes. The first 11 people we've done in a systematic way. We've been doing it for 30 years. Okay. The next step, and we've applied for funding, is to do 300 to 400 people, and then we can make a real statement that is more hardcore.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to touch quickly, because you've written so many books. You're also talking about heart disease, depression, all with the same sort of a diet?
The foundation is to create a healthy body and a healthy mind. So we do a lot of work with depression, helping people get off medications, and sustaining what we call creating a healthy brain function again, creating a healthy body. When the body's in order, then the diseases reverse. And you're looking at somebody who's 65 years old, okay? And when I was 60, I did 601 push-ups because I've been on this diet for 25 years.
The Whole Living Expo, the new Living